Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Classic Duels. So it's been like a good minute since I last uploaded, but finally I'm back at it with another video where I spend the first 5 minutes trying to explain why it's completely reasonable that I've been away for the past like 2 years or whatever. But you know what? For once, I have an excuse that isn't completely terrible. I was kind of hoping he would die when I said terrible to make a clean cut, but then he lived on 0 HP, and now things are just awkward. Usually, I'm busy, and I get sidetracked doing who knows what between, like, videos. It's just, like, real random things that usually just come from me just getting distracted by something dumb. But I've actually been being responsible for the past few weeks and doing the logical thing of studying for my exams, which slightly takes precedent over my 70 subscriber YouTube channel currently. You know, once I get to 75 subscribers, then it's a different story. But for now, 70 subscriber channel, Oh, I actually won that. Usually I don't have the click speed to match people when we're both on half a heart, but worked out today. I got distracted by the friend request. Or not the invite. See, this is what I mean. I just keep getting distracted. Like, my commentary just trailed off into nothing. Like, I was trying to make some kind of grand point in all of this, and I just trailed off after seeing that I'd gotten a pop-up in the text. I had to read it. I had to know what was going on. But, like, that's what usually, like, distracts from my videos. But I can actually say for once, with pretty good confidence, that it was completely fair that I hadn't uploaded. I mean, I could have just pre-recorded stuff, but I'm still kind of lazy, so sorry about that, I guess. Either way, now I'm back, and I finished my hard semester. So, now that I'm moving into an easier semester with less of a workload, I'll have more free time to, like, actually do YouTube stuff. So, hopefully that means that I'll be able to record more videos now, so hopefully my upload schedule should somewhat return to a functional system, I guess? I don't know. I mean, I just did like a whole part where I talked about how I'm constantly getting distracted by stupid stuff, so, you know, I can't guarantee you that I won't just see some random video on YouTube about the most niche thing ever, and it won't just consume my life for the next week. But, you know, since that's happening anyway, the lighter semester should still mean that the times when that's not happening, I'll be able to record more. Anyway, I didn't put exams in the title of my video just to talk about it for 2 seconds. Because you see, I specifically wanted to mention it because, yeah, they slowed down my video upload schedule and stuff. But you know, my main issue was actually just that because of COVID and stuff, exams have been, like, canceled at my school for the past 4 years or something. So, this is, like, the first exam I've been doing, like, a long time. And you know, I'm in grade 12, so exams are like mildly more important this year than they are usually. And it's been like forever since I've done them. I've did like 2 exams in grade 9. So you know, it's kind of a big jump since now we're at ones that are worth like 30% of our mark that also affect the grades that the universities and colleges and stuff are gonna be seeing. So, you know, kind of something I gotta put a lot of time into. So unfortunately, that took like forever. But you know, in spite of it all, I've managed to survive without, like, destroying my grades, and I live to upload another video, so that's nice. You know, a lot of my classes don't necessarily have exams, so I got off easy compared to some people as I only had to do 2. One of the kids in my math class was stuck with 4 exams. Man was going through the ringer. So, you know, I got off slightly easy in terms of what I had to do, but boy, were the exams I actually ended up doing rough. My math exam, it went fine. It was kind of draining, but I knew what to do for pretty much everything, so it was still kind of nice. Somewhat stress relieving to, you know, look at the exam and actually feel confident in... Man, I broke that guy's spirit. You know, my math exam was like draining. It went on for a good 3 hours. It was more like just constant work, because it's not like I ever felt like I was completely lost or anything. It just felt like it was taking a while. It was more just like kind of slowly chipping away at this massive thing piece by piece. It was moving smoothly. My physics exam was a lot worse because, first of all, my confidence in everything was a bit more rough, as honestly, I spent less time studying for my physics exam than my math exam, mainly because I had more faith that I could bring up my math mark compared to physics, because, you know, I get whiplash going back and forth from my math and physics class. Because, you see, in my math class, my math teacher's basically like, oh, I don't really care necessarily if you get the right answer. Or, oh god, he has the item rod effect. That is, like, beyond awful for commentary. Sorry, I had to dispatch that guy quickly. It's so hard to make commentary when every time they go off with the rod, it just goes pop, 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 pop. Just overrides everything you're trying to say. But anyway, my math teacher is basically like, oh, I don't really care if you get the right answer. I just want to see that you, like, understand the equations and stuff. Like, if you know what to do, that's what I'm marking you on. Like, if you make little mistakes, that's fine. That's just human error. But we're mostly being marked on just knowing what to do when we're presented with an equation. We had one part in, like, our math problems where we were given, like, an equation and we were supposed to graph it. And he basically said, I don't care if your graph is even remotely close to what the actual graph is. I just want to see you explain why you graphed it that way. So it's like, you could get, like, 100% on it, even if yours was nothing like the correct answer. So, you know, I had a little more confidence in my understanding than I did in my precision. Because I'm the kind of person who will always mess up a plus sign, turn it into a minus sign, or miss an exponent, or write a 2 as a 3, or just something, and just completely decimate my answer, even if I, like, actually had it correct. So, you know, I have more faith in that. Versus my physics teacher, who's like, oh, you forgot your name? Mark off. You didn't draw your lines on your graph straight enough. Mark off. You made a spelling mistake. Mark off. You didn't format this equation properly, even though you didn't actually make any mistakes. Mark off. You know, so I had less faith that someone who consistently messes equations up like that I'd necessarily be able to do that well on my physics exam. I was in physics class like a few days before the exam, and the teacher was like, oh yeah, by the way, 18% of the exam, it's gonna be show your work questions, except I'm only gonna mark you on the final answer. So it's like, show your work level stuff, except I'm not actually marking you on your show your work part. So yeah, that was incredibly comforting. And something as long as show your work questions that usually have you show your work so that teachers can find the little areas where you might have made like a writing mistake that threw you off so that they can still say, you had it correct mostly, and then give you half marks. He's just like, oh yeah, so we got 4 questions like that determine 18% of the exam, and there are 0 half marks. It's either you got it right or you got it wrong. So have fun. So, you know, that wasn't the most comforting thing to hear. So, you know, physics exam, complete nightmare. I spent like 5 hours just trying to make sure that I could keep my physics mark above 60% when everything was said and done. Because in my other classes that didn't have exams, I was able to get my final mark earlier, and I was able to calculate what my average would be so that I could determine how high my mark would have to be in physics to stay on the honor roll. So all I needed to do was get a 60, which I did manage to just barely get to, so yay, honor roll, I live. Anyway, if you listen through that tangent all the way to the end card screen, you should probably click 1, since at this point, you have to at least somewhat like my content to get this far. Or be asleep with autoplay, in which case YouTube will hopefully autoplay you to my next video anyway.